This module is all about finishing our preparation before the next module, and there are three things that we need to take care of. Those are possessive pronouns, por and para, and estar with conditions. So let's begin with possessive pronouns. This is really just a fancy way of saying my, your, his, her, our, or their. For example, my book, your book, his car, their house, and so forth. These are possessive pronouns. Now on one slide, we can put it as this. We'll use libro as our example. So mi libro would be my book. Tu libro is your book. And su libro would be his book, her book, and their book. So again, mi libro, tu libro, and su libro. Try it for yourself. How would you say my book? Mi libro, your book. Tu libro, his book. Su libro, her book. Su libro, their book. Su libro. So as you can see, this last one is quite powerful. With su, it can be his, her, or their. If we're dealing with plural nouns, all we have to do is add an S to those. So let's do it in real time. So my book is mi libro, but my books would become mis libros. Your book is tu libro. Your books, so now it's plural, simply add an S, tus libros. And the same thing happens for his book, her book, or their book, right? So his books, sus libros, her books or their books. You can see this one is really powerful, having three angles all at once. So that's how easy plurals are. Let's try it for yourself now. How would you say my books? Mis libros, your books. Tus libros, his books. Sus libros, her books. Sus libros, their books. Sus libros. Now there's one angle missing, which is of course our. We have four options here. It all depends on the noun, whether it's masculine or feminine, single or plural. So we could have nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, nuestras. This is going to remind you a lot of those adjectives we looked at where you always had the four options. This is no different. So let's try to do it. Our book would be nuestro libro. Now to turn that into plural, so our books, you simply add an S, so it will become nuestros libros. If we take, say, a feminine noun like our house, this would be nuestra casa. You can see it matching. And of course, our houses, again, you just add an S. It becomes nuestras casas. All on one slide, then you can see that we have it matching nuestro libro, nuestros libros, nuestra casa, nuestras casas. Let's run a short drill now. Remember that we're practicing possessive pronouns. And we'll just use two nouns for practice. So we'll have one masculine, el libro, and one feminine, la idea. Pause if you need more time to think it out. How would you say our idea? Nuestra idea. His idea. Su idea. Your book. Tu libro. His ideas. Sus ideas. My ideas. Mis ideas. Your books. Tus libros. Her book. Su libro. Her books. Sus libros. Our ideas. Nuestras ideas. His book. Su libro. Their idea. Su idea. Your ideas. Tus ideas. His books. Sus libros. My idea. Mi idea. Their ideas. sus ideas, her ideas. Sus ideas, our book. Nuestro libro, her idea. Su idea, their book. Su libro, my books. Mis libros, our books. Nuestros libros, their books. Sus libros, my book. Mi libro, your idea. Tu idea. Next up in our preparation is por and para. Now this is a big topic in Spanish, but we're going to start here with just a couple of distinctions between them. First of all, let's look at this example sentence. It reads, I'm walking there now to see him. I'd like you to pay particular attention to this to right here highlighted in red. Because in English we could also say, I'm walking there now in order to see him. The point is that this to could also imply in order to. So either way, I'm walking there now to see him or I'm walking there now in order to see him. Now whenever this happens, whenever this to could imply in order to, Spanish will use para. So the translation of this would be, estoy caminando allí para verlo. Literally, I'm walking there in order to see him. Let's look at another example. Here we have, I need to work to pay my expenses. Now, once again, we can highlight this to because we could also say in English, I need to work in order to pay my expenses. You can see the same thing happening here. So again, Spanish at this point in the phrase will put in para. The translation would be, necesito trabajar para pagar mis gastos. Gastos is the word for expenses. And here you can see para. So I need to work in order to pay my expenses. Let's do one more. So we have, she wants to see you later to talk. So first of all, which to in this sentence is implying in order to? Well, it's the second one, this one here, because you could also say, she wants to see you later in order to talk. How would you translate that? Quiere verte más tarde para hablar. You'll find this use of para popping up again and again in Spanish. It's very, very common. So to summarize, whenever you have to with a verb and you could replace it with in order to, that's a signal that you're going to throw in the word para in your Spanish translation. With regard to por, whenever you have in English the combination of because of, this will often trigger the use of the word por in Spanish. For example, if in English we had it's because of him, it would be es por él. You can see here por is standing for because of, so it is because of him. Es por él. How would you say it's because of her? Es por ella. Let's try it in a sentence. We have, I can't go out tonight because of my son. Let's say that he was not feeling well. So my son in Spanish is mi hijo. How would you translate this? No puedo salir esta noche por mi hijo. Here you can see the use of por, where in English we have because of. Let's try another. I can't buy it because of the price. The price is el precio. How would you translate it? No puedo comprarlo por el precio. So here, por is because of the price. In other words, the price is the reason why. It's the reason why you can't buy it. Por el precio. Let's try one more. It's because of him that I have to sell it. Es por él que tengo que venderlo. Again, what it's saying is that he's the reason why. It's because of him. Es por él que tengo que venderlo. So to summarize then, we're going to use the word para whenever we have that to in English implying in order to. And we're going to use por whenever in English we see this combination of because of. This one slide is extremely powerful because these things come up again and again in Spanish. The last thing we need to look at in our preparation module is this idea of estar with conditions. And we've already had some contact with this idea in the course. For example, I'm worried, I'm happy, I'm tired, I'm jealous. In other words, these are conditions, things that you're going through right now. They say nothing about your identity. It's just what you're experiencing or what you're feeling at the moment. So you would have for I'm worried, estoy preocupado or preocupada if you were a female. For I'm happy, estoy feliz. I'm tired would be estoy cansado or estoy cansada. So we've already had some experience with these. What I really want to bring your attention to is that this form with estar can also be used to describe what's happening right now. In other words, what's going on. For example, I'm late, I'm drunk, I'm trying. So these would be estoy atrasado, I'm late, or estoy borracho, I'm drunk. Estoy intentando, I'm trying. So we use also this form of estoy or estar in general to not only talk about feelings, things or emotions that we're going through, but also about what's going on right now. So right now we're running late, or right now we're drunk, or right now we're trying to do something. You'll also find this used a lot in Spanish with estar. In other words, it's not just limited to your emotions or your feelings, but it's also about describing stuff that's going on right now, stuff that you're going through.